We have Nancy Lanard with Lanard and Associates with us for the Attorney Spotlight. And I just wanted to say thank you real quick. Thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So basically for this stream, we're going to go ahead and talk about her firm, how she got started, any advice she might have for aspiring attorneys and such, and just kind of go on about her life as an attorney. So without further ado, Nancy, if you would like to kind of introduce yourself, just give us some information on what your area of practice and your firm.
Sure, be happy to do that. So I've been in practice for quite a while, and I started out my practice working in-house, but I started my practice quite a number of years ago working in-house for 3 large corporations, and the last corporation that I worked for was Nutrisystem, the weight loss company.
Okay.
And they were, at that time, the #1 weight loss company in the United States, and they were a franchised company. They had 500 corporate locations and 1,300 franchise locations around the United States. They also had international locations, and they had been around for about 20 years. They went into bankruptcy. And
oh, really?
They went into bankruptcy, and what you hear on the TV commercials for Nutrisystem is an internet-based weight loss program that evolved from the weight loss program that I was familiar with 20-some years ago. But when that bankruptcy happened, I decided that I no longer wanted to be anybody's employee, and I wanted to start my own practice. And so at that point, I started my own practice having no clients because my client was Nutrisystem. They were my employer.
Sure.
So I started, actually I had one client that came with me right from the start, and I didn't have any infrastructure in place. I didn't even have malpractice coverage right off the bat. That client is still my client. He's wonderful, and he was a Nutrisystem franchisee of 20 Nutrisystem centers, and so I represented him in those right off the bat, right initially. He was my first client. And he's an entrepreneur, so he's been in various ventures over the years and been a wonderful, wonderful client and friend. So that's how I got started initially. And of course, when I started 20-some years ago, we didn't have, practice management programs that were cloud-based. So my practice evolved into a general business law, transactional. I don't go into court. I'm not a litigator, but general business law practice with a focus on franchise law, and that's a niche practice. There's not a lot of us in the country, and I represent primarily individuals who are looking to purchase a franchise to have, again, business ownership, similar to what I was looking for when I started my practice. And so I can relate to them because I'm a business owner as well, and help them evaluate their legal documentation for the franchise and decide whether this is a good opportunity for them to invest in or not. Help them set up their entity as a corporation or a limited liability company. And if they're a brick and mortar business, to help them with the commercial lease for their business. When I was with Nutrisystem, their 500 corporate locations, I handled the commercial leases for the 500 locations. So that was another area that's sort of a niche practice. And as it is today, my firm represents quite a number of franchise systems nationwide. We handle their franchisees' leases for them, and we're recommended by the franchisor for their franchisees to use us for the leases. So we do a lot of that as well. It's kind of a natural corollary to being in the franchise world. The other side of the franchise piece is that we also represent businesses that want to expand by franchising the business. And so with that, we would be drafting their franchise documents. Franchise law is governed by the federal government, by the Federal Trade Commission, and certain states also have regulations. But we're very familiar with all of that, and we handle compliance with the federal government as well as those states, which includes preparing what's called a disclosure document, which is a very lengthy, detailed, very, very specific document for compliance, as well as the contract with their franchisees and and so forth, and registration in states that require registration. So again, we do that nationwide, the franchise practice, and we are general business attorneys as well, and we handle that for our clients that are located in the greater Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area, which is where I'm based out of. I'm happy, again, I like helping people and I like teaching. So I'm very happy if there's anybody listening that, is interested in contacting me directly with any questions that they have, or if they even want to call me. You put up I couldn't see it, but I assume you put up my website.
Yes.
So,
that is right here.
Contact me through that, or my phone number is on the website. They can call me through that. And I'm really happy to speak with anybody. My email is my first initial last name, so it's nlanard at lanardandassociates.com. So, anybody listening that wants to contact me and have questions about anything that we talked about, I'm really happy to answer them.
Awesome. Did you want to give your social media shout-outs or anything like that?
Yeah, well, on Twitter, I'm at Lanard Law, so LANARDLAW, very original. And the Facebook page is facebook.com/Lanard and Associates. And the LinkedIn, I think, is the same thing. I think it's linkedin.com/Lanard and Associates, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Good.
Yeah. But
cool.
You always can reach me directly through, email or calling me 215-392-0030, and I'm extension 101.